today I'm here with talented actress Isabella Tabio. Woo, Issa, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I always say you are just the type of friend who motivates you to be better, because you're really one of the most hardworking people I know, and you're a Capricorn, so it makes sense. And I'm a Virgo, so we're like,
we match.
We're like that.
We match.
We work really well together,
We
so
do.
I know this is going to be a great episode. I've seen you in multiple national commercials and TV shows, like
You could
Chicago
say that.
PD.
Oh my God.
You were great in that, by the way. When did you start acting?
So I would say I started acting about 2 years ago, but more specifically towards the winter time of my freshman year. Yeah, I would say that like I got like, after my first semester, I wanted to kind of go home and figure out like how I wanted to start like my creative career. And so I found an acting coach, and it ended up being like sort of a very special and perfect situation that like perfectly launched my career. I won't get into that now.
Yeah,
But
no.
that's how I started.
Yes, and 2 years ago, that's crazy, because a lot of actors could only dream of doing some of the jobs that you've done in such a short period of time. How did it feel breaking into the industry so late?
So late? Well, okay, so that's a very interesting question, because for me that kind of gave me a lot of anxiety, in the sense that like when I look at actors that I admire and that I love so much, and I tend to like fixate on them, look up like their career and stuff, I noticed that they were like been in commercials and they were like 5 years old, been in TV shows and they were like 13, whatever. And so I kind of compared myself to their journey a little bit, in the sense that like, will I be able to make it starting at 21?
Right.
But everybody's journey is so
Different.
so different, and nobody's journey disqualifies you from being able to make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I think
So-
your experience proves that.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, obviously it just requires a certain level of trust and a certain level of just understanding that there's no right way to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
And you're still young. I mean,
I
you're
am
in college.
Still young. I'm still very, that's what I have to
Yeah.
realize. I'm so young.
Exactly.
I'm so young.
Like, we're 21. We've
And
really
just because I wasn't acting when I was like 5 years old doesn't mean I'm not going to make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can learn anything at any age.
Exactly.
But how is it balancing, because you're young, you're a student, you're in college. How is it balancing college and pursuing an acting career? Because those are both very demanding jobs. I'll call college a job, because it is.
Well, I would say that there's two kind of sides to that situation. There's one side where all I'm doing is auditioning, which is hard in and of itself. And there's another side where I end up booking a job and I'm out of school for whatever reason. If I end up, you know, I'm just auditioning, whatever, I have to find a balance between being able to memorize an 11-page scene, do my homework, film my audition, find somebody to read for me, make sure I look good for that audition, and submit it. So yes, it's hard, but the thing is, when you're doing something you love, it kind of just doesn't feel like a job. It feels like you're very, very excited to be able to film that audition. It's a huge opportunity. Like, I understand that, and I absolutely appreciate that.
You're grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And then I would say, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how do you prioritize? Because like, say you're in class one day, your agent texts you, we need you in LA tomorrow.
The thing is,
and you have an exam tomorrow.
That is my priority.
Yeah.
That is my priority. Yes, maybe I'll try and study, but that job is my priority. That's what I love to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I care about school, but at the end of the day, that's not what I want to base my life and my career on.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was gonna say earlier is that the other side of it is when I book a job, and that's very kind of interesting. That's like the goal, but it's so weird because I'll literally be in school, and then I'll have to miss a week because I'm like gone in like Chicago or another city or state. So it's kind of anxiety ridden, but it's just so fun.
No, I relate to you a lot with that, because as a model, it's kind of the same thing. You have to be ready. You have to have this mindset of like, you need to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because you never know when opportunities are going to present themselves. And that's something I really like about these two industries, because it kind of reminds me of life in a way. Like, you have to really be prepared for what you ask for. So like, you have to embody the traits of the actor or the model that you want to be before those opportunities reach you. You know what I mean? And that's like a consistent form of manifestation if you really think about it.
That's so hard as a student though, because yes, I want to embody that, but I cannot fully when I'm also being a student. I want to be a good student.
Right.
So yeah, I guess to your question is like, I want to be good at both, so I try for both. But at the end of the day, my priority is acting because that's my passion.
It is.
So,
and then you also have to think about how it really is a constant job.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, okay, I have a job and then I'm off. No, you have to consistently be learning and growing and perfecting your craft all the time.
Which also is hard, because if you don't have the time as a student, or the money, it's so many things.
Yes.
But I don't know, when you want to do something, you find a way.
Yeah. And again, there are lots of parallels between the modeling industry and the acting industry. One, like we said, you always have to be ready. And then two, it can be a really unstable career, because these are not typical jobs, right? And they're not always respected as real careers. You don't have a steady income. But at the same time, there's the potential to make a lot of money, a lot more money than regular jobs. And it's like, right? It's like high risk, high reward.
Yes.
But how do you deal with that uncertainty? Like, how do you deal with the fact that you might go 6 months without paid work?
Just like anything in life, you kind of have to just not think too hard about it. I think you need to befriend uncertainty and kind of feel that it's like, it's not a scary thing. At the end of the day, I would rather take uncertainty as an alternative to being in a career that I don't want to be in.
Of course.
I'll take that any day, because I love what I do, and I'd rather have that than anything else.
Yeah, than regret.
Yeah, and my dad said this to me one time, but he said that I'd rather you succeed, or actually he said, I'd rather you fail in trying to reach your passion than succeed in earning a career. And I don't know, I just feel like that goes hand in hand, because I would take uncertainty any day in the chance at being able to succeed at my passion.
I relate. And I think it also takes a lot of patience to be in these industries, because you're really going to deal with a lot of rejection. And there are going to be periods of time where you're like, what is going on? Like, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing all the, the heavy lifting, and I'm not seeing any results on the other side of it. So how do you stay patient? How do you stay hopeful throughout all this?
Honestly, that's a difficult question for me, because I haven't reached a point where I feel like I'm in a rush, simply because I'm a student right now. So I don't know. I guess I can assume that at that time it'd just be a matter of like trusting and continuing to trust.
For sure.
The same thing of what I continued to say, or what I said earlier. Because I mean, when you want to do something so bad, you don't care about, I don't know, the possibilities of like, or you don't think you shouldn't think about it that way.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, I still struggle with it as well, like being patient and like everybody has their turn. I think that another thing that really helps is you need to have something else to live for. You can't just, yes, it's your passion, and yes, it's that one thing you want so bad, but you also have friends. You also have other passions. You have life
that can
itself.
go so much into the meaning of life.
Oh yeah,
it's so
for
crazy
sure.
Because it's like we put so much of our identity into our
what
success,
we do,
and like that's not who we are.
That's not who you are.
And it doesn't make sense to us as human beings. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's so detrimental to our mental health.
Yeah, and I think that you have to diversify your interests. Always in life, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. But at the same time, we've talked about this, like having a plan A and a plan B. And like, I understand that you need to have a plan B just so that you have something to fall back on. But sometimes I feel like having only a plan A is really important, because when you have nothing to fall back on and you have that drive and that desperation that's driving you, I feel like that makes it like, well, you have no choice but to succeed. And that's when you really are like, I think like also, you can't go any other way.
I think it's also an energy thing. Like if you're kind of like messing around, being worried about like the outcomes of it, and you're because of that putting your energy in other like sort of situations, it's just going to be a jumbled up mess. Whereas if I put my energy into one sole thing, it is inevitable that something's going to come out. Right. That's how I see it. And that's
I see it that way too, for sure. And you never want to operate out of lack. Like you don't want to do something else just because you don't believe that plan A will work out. That's like the worst way to do anything.
It's so scary though to like,
it is.
I so understand the other side. And it's harder to like beat your mind in that sense. Like our mind really tries to like kind of take us down.
For sure.
But if you think about it, it's like, why does anything have to be the way you don't, like, we make our life.
Exactly.
We make our life. We design our life.
And I think that there's a lot of rhetoric that supports this idea that like we are meant to do something, and we have this like purpose that we're trying to fulfill in life. And I mean, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I feel like I saw this quote a few weeks ago and it's been in my mind ever since. And it's like, it said something along the lines of, stop trying to find your purpose in life, just capitalize off of your strengths and your passions and let that drive you, because passion is not just going to appear someday.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, passion isn't the only thing. Like,
what I mean is, like, you're not necessarily you're not supposed to be doing anything. That's how I think about it. Like, I think a lot of people, they'll let this idea that you're meant to be doing something discourage them from chasing their dreams, because it's like, well, you know what, I was good at math when I was in high school, so I should be, what do people do with mathematics? I was good at science, so I should be a doctor.
I think it's like finding a balance between the two, because I feel like, yes, it's really fun to like find meaning in something, and it does give life purpose, which kind of matters, but I do believe that at the end of the day, we literally are just human beings living a human experience. We don't need to put so much power into this thing. We don't. So it really is just finding a balance, because at the end of the day, like, I have fun like identifying with being an actress, but I also understand that like that's not me. That's not me. I'm so many other things. And I think that just the duality of both, and like, it's so hard because we're always like fighting ourselves. But I guess just trying to find a balance between the two.
And of course your career is important. We all need to make money. But it's like, I feel like we shouldn't get stuck in this loop of like, I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Because you make your career what it is. And as models and actresses, we are in control of our careers, and we're really like our own bosses. You know what I mean? So like, we run this, you know what I mean? And another parallel between the modeling and the acting industries is that they're both very competitive industries. Like, I feel like every model, every actress has this realization at some point that like, there are millions and millions of people chasing the exact dream that you are. Some of them who want it more badly than you do, and who are more talented, you know, just as talented, if not more talented than you are.
I love it. Like, yes, it literally ties perfectly into what we were saying before. Like, if you're going to attach your purpose to whatever, you know, success in that career, like, then that would make sense that you're so worried about competition. This is, it's not like I think like this. Like, I'm rationalizing it now, but I'm like, this is how we should all see it. Yes, there's competition, but at the end of the day, you're just doing it because you love it. Like, you're not like scared about the outcome or whatever. Just do it because this is what you want to do. And in that same light, whatever the competition, whatever, like, just work hard. Work extremely hard. And inevitably you will get somewhere.
You know, I would love to think that way, but I feel like the reality of it is that like, you're competing against so many people. Like, especially when it comes to one role or one show or one campaign, it's like, you can like, work so hard and it just doesn't work out. How do you deal with the fact that there is tough competition, and that, God, you know, like,
I don't even, like, I feel like
the way you deal with it is the way we should. It's just so hard.
Well, that's the way I think that we should deal with it. Right now, personally, I'm kind of just moving on autopilot. Like, I don't really even know. Because at the end of the day, I am grounded in reality, and the fact that we are, unfortunately, in society's constraints. We have to worry about money. We have to worry about, like, where we're going to live. And I don't want to make my money, like, being a lawyer. I don't. And I really want this to work out. So I am, like, understanding of that side of it, too. But I don't know. I'm coasting a little bit. And I'm believing, and I have hope. And I feel like that is the only thing. I
love that mindset.
I feel like that is the only thing that we can kind of really grasp ourselves to.
No, I love that mindset, because even if there's competition, even if there's hardship, like, your passion for acting is what drives you, and that's the way it should be. Because like you said, you don't want to do anything else, and if you try to like switch your plan because it gets too hard, you're gonna be miserable. I do like how you said that.
I will make it work.
You're gonna make it work.
You will make it work.
I'm gonna make it work. Like, that's the only way to
freaking scary,
get through this. No, and I think that with the competition comes this difficulty with making friends as well. And friendship is really important in general, but I think it's so important in these industries because you need somebody who understands you. You need somebody who gets what you're going through and how it feels to be a part of this industry. And yeah, I feel like it's just really hard to make friends sometimes when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, like, I don't meet many people that are like me, but in that sense, like, I don't know, it is scary simply because everybody in this industry has like such a level of desperation, and because of that, you don't really know who has your best interest. But on the other side of it, I feel like in this industry, there's so much magic. There's so many people who are so genuine and who just want to share like their creativity, who want to connect with people, because that's the essence of this career.
Oh yeah,
is
connecting with people and impacting people.
In the world, like whatever. And so I feel like people who have that true essence, they exist, first of all, and you will meet them. You will. And I don't know, I just feel like, yes, there are people who are operating out of lack and fear and whatever, and I think we kind of all are. A little bit, for sure. But there are people who let that light shine. And we will meet those people. It's inevitable. No, like you said, it's difficult because at the end of the day, we're competing against each other. So how can you be friends with somebody who, on the other side of that, you're competing with? But you're right, like there are people like us in this world who can separate the two, and it's crazy because your gut knows when somebody is meant for you, when someone is meant for you. And I feel like we've talked about this before, like you know what's true. Sometimes like external forces and like our minds can get in the way and our emotions, but like if you really pay attention to your intuition, I think you can make great friends, because sometimes you'll meet somebody and off the bat you get a weird feeling of like I can't really tell this person everything. Like you just feel like you kind of have to keep your distance from someone, and then there are other times where you meet someone and it's just like instantly you just know. It sucks because like, yes, that's so true, and that's like the beauty of it. Like, you never kind of know, but it sucks that you even have to kind of like face those people, because it kind of takes away the hope of like, I don't know, it kind of makes life seem a little bit more dark, but there is beauty. I feel like, and that's kind of what you have to always look for and look towards, and understand that like if you put out the energy of wanting genuine connection, of wanting genuine people, and of putting that first, like people matter, the world matters, it will align with you. You will meet people like that. For sure. You will meet people like that. And I feel like that's my main thing, is that matters more than any of this. It's genuineness and good people, and good energy, good vibes. For sure. I don't know, if you lead that way, you'll even get what you want. You'll get your career. I agree. Like. Because if you walk in the light that you want to receive, that's what you're going to become aligned with, for sure. I mean, I was going to end this conversation on like modeling and acting they're not as glamorous as they seem, and you have to surround yourself with people who, you know, understand you and who want to push you. But I think that you have a much better closing note of like, just go through these careers being a genuine, kind person. And being true to yourself. And just liking this career because you like what it gives to you. You like what it gives to the world. You like what it means. And just, I don't know, you do things because you like to do it. And because you want to be good and you want to attract good. You and know? Not for like reasons that are just... It has to be a very personal thing. But for sure. Know, you will attract things that you want, that you are like. Always. So, yes. Thank you so much for talking with me over tea. Cheers, Issa. Never tasted it, but it was good. Oh my God, let's sip a little bit before we get off this camera. All right. It's blackberry. It's good. I like it. Okay, let's cheers one more time. See you on the next episode.